So who does this even belong to anyway? Is this even mine? Two of the greatest tools and questions that you can use to facilitate yourself out of a place where you possibly were this bubble of sunshine, like this ray of sunshine, and feeling so uplifted and so happy and so positive. And then almost in a split second, you felt as though you became a dark cloud, this thunderstorm about to unleash and unravel. That is the place where you get to use these tools to get you to stop that process of going into that dark thunderstorm and immediately continue to be that bubble and ray and beautiful essence of sunshine. So if this is something that intrigues you, stick around. We're going to cover this just after the intro. Welcome to the vlog, all you amazing, magnificent, magical, miraculous, and majestic, multidimensional, energetic, spiritual, infinite beings, because yes, that's why you come to this channel, so that you get reminded in each and every single vlog that you are far more than the physical avatar that you have identified yourself with. You are an energetic being first and foremost, and you operate through energy. So the tool and the title of the vlog today, in terms of who does this even belong to, is this even mine? Two incredible tools to help you to navigate situations where, like I said, you're this ray of sunshine, beaming positivity to everyone else, and almost like in a split second, it felt like you were just consumed by this dark cloud and storm. And what happens is that we are psychic SpongeBobs. 99.9% of the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that we go through don't even belong to us, because we're so connected to everyone else. It's one of the universal laws. We are all divinely connected. We are all psychic. So for some people who think that they're not psychic or they're not intuitive, I just want to remind you that you haven't allowed yourself to actually tap into that gift as yet. When you start tapping into that gift, and this is one of the reasons why people choose not to, is because when they start feeling everyone else's stuff, they feel it really intensely. It's half the reason about the whole empaths. And I think I did a vlog a little while ago in terms of the whole, what people deem as a curse of the empath. And meantime, it's not a curse. When you turn up your awareness and you can really be dialed into your intuition, into what you're feeling, what you're thinking, yours and everyone else's, it is such a gift and a blessing, because you get to navigate a situation so differently. It's almost like it dials you up a level, like especially levels in consciousness and awareness, so that you're not operating from that lower frequency. So if someone else they're in that dark storm cloud and they're feeling negative and they're raging and they're frustrated and they're angry, if you're aware that that's what you felt in that split second, you're like, hang on a sec, is this even mine? Who does this even belong to? Sometimes that person can be in the room, they can be in the car next to you, they can be in the shopping center, or they can be miles away, and you may not even know them, like personally in terms of what their name is, but energetically you have felt and sensed this. And because we're a gift, and because we're a blessing, and because we all are energy, and we can use energy to transmute lower vibrational energies into higher vibrational energies, we get to facilitate incredible change. So if you have been not acknowledging the fact that you are intuitive and psychic, number one, would you be prepared to actually start acknowledging that and just start turning the dial, start turning that awareness up a little bit? Don't buy the whole curse of the empath story that you're going to feel things so intensely that you're not going to be able to function in the world. If you allow yourself to actually tap into that, realize that that is the gift and that is the blessing, because you could change a situation. If the person happens to be a friend of yours, if they happen to be in the room, if they happen to be on the other side of the telephone, you could facilitate them through in terms of feeling what they're feeling and just asking them questions. Questions are such a beautiful way, especially when it's not to find out if the person has a right answer or wrong answer, because that's what we were programmed at school. You always had to have the right answer. But when you're asking a person a question just because you're curious as to what is going on in their space, you're curious to find out how they are feeling and what led up to them feeling that certain way, positive or negative. Because remember, in the law of polarity, universal laws, there is no good, bad, or right or wrong. There just is a positive side and there is a negative side. And there is a light side and there is a dark side. That's all there is to it. So you could be curious to find out how a person is in a positive space and in a light space. And you could be curious to find out why they're in the opposite, why they're in a dark space and why they're in a negative space. When you're asking that question from a complete neutral place, a complete place of allowance, of love, of compassion, you get to transmute that energy, you get to dissipate it. That person's not feeling judged. That person is possibly feeling heard and acknowledged for the very first time in a long time. And you could even ask them, is this something that is actually yours, or have you even picked this up from someone else? Because again, to get to the core of who the original thought, feeling, or emotion belongs to is interesting because we're all connected. But can you imagine if we use this, we're all connected in a completely different way, and we all chose to rather focus our energies towards the positive aspect of life and towards the light aspect of life, we can change everything that has been occurring. Because the last couple of decades, we'll go with decades and decades and decades, people have been choosing to focus more on the negative and more on the dark side of things. And yes, the light workers and the star seeds, and we come here, and the people who are connected to the dragons and the fairies and elementals and all of that. I mean, we come here to change that because we have the spark of energy inside of us that it doesn't feel like anyone can snuff out. They try, they really do try and snuff it out, but there's something within us that was just be like, no. Like, we have a divine mission here. Like, we know what this divine mission is. We don't always know how it's going to be fulfilled. We just know we have a mission to fulfill. So when you start just learning to ask questions, and in this case, we're working with the two tools. Who does this even belong to? Is this even mine? To get clarity for ourselves from ray of sunshine to dark storm cloud, or to someone else that's in our vicinity, to just really ask them. And one of the things I also just wanted to make you aware of is that this can be feelings and thoughts, but it can also be intensities in your bodies, because we tend to discount the magic that happens within our physical bodies. I mean, this physical avatar is an incredible gift on its own, that we were gifted to come and explore and have this, physical human experience in the earth realm or on the earth realm. So sometimes we feel an intensity within our bodies, and even that, because we're feeling it in our actual bodies, we buy it as ours. And the example that I can just share with you is that this week, so this particular week, there was a really strong full moon. And I'd probably say on the Monday, I saw a client and they were sort of having, some intensities happening in their back. I had gone to the chiropractor on the Monday afternoon, and when I woke up on the Tuesday morning, lower back intensities, like something was going on there. So I was just recognizing, okay, could this be mine? Could this be someone else's? And because I was feeling it in my own body, I just allowed the body to be, and to not push it, and to not allow my ego self to come in and be like, okay, you have to exercise and you have to move. I was just mindful and soulful in terms of what was occurring. Then Thursday, I went to go train with a friend, and another person came in and said, no, they had been having lower back issues as well. So I was like, does this even belong to us? Like, I voiced it out loud, because if I'm feeling it and she was feeling it and the clients had feeling on Saturday, this is how we get to feel what is going on. And when you learn, especially Louise Hay's books and Debbie Shapiro's books, The Mind Speaks Your Body, the body speaks your mind, actually, you get to have that sense of what gets, stuck energetically wise in certain parts of the body. And again, it's just having that awareness. It's not about putting it into a box or labeling it or making it a right or wrong thing. It's just having an awareness, like, I wonder if that's what's going on. So lower back, support, not feeling confident enough, not, self-worth issues. And again, isn't the collective at some level feeling this, feeling unsupported by, government, society, friends, family? We're at a time of year where a lot of people are, they don't have the loved ones that they had at the beginning of the year, because there's just been so much change and transitioning happening in the world. And we know death is part of the cycle, and within every death there is rebirth. there's still physical human emotions that tend to feel that loss and that separation. And again, it's not right or wrong or good or bad. It just is. So there is a lot of emotional energy that is very low at the moment. And again, just having that insight, is this even mine? Who does this even belong to? Gives you that space to not take it on, so that your body doesn't even take on these intensities. And again, just that awareness changes everything, because all of a sudden your body gets permission to shift that energy, to be like, hey body, this isn't ours. Thank you, thank you, thank you for wanting to take this on, but we can actually return this to sender. We can return it to sender with love and light and consciousness attached. And yes, every now and then we need to entertain the ego, or we can entertain the ego. And if something is really frustrating you, you can literally say, fuck off with love and light. Like, really? It depends on the intensity of a situation and whether you want to really just, like honor the sort of dark cloud feeling that you're feeling. And we still want to transmute it with love and light and consciousness attached. So it's just about knowing what is required in each and every single situation. And the way to know what is required is to have your awareness dialed up. If you're in your ego mind, you're taking everything personally. You're staying in the story, you're staying in the victim mode. You're not able to actually see the wood for the trees, as the saying would go. But when you're raising your vibration and your frequency and you're dialing up your awareness, you create that space, not a separation, because in universal laws, everything is connected. There is no separation. Separation is one of the biggest lies. You are divine consciousness. That is what is having this experience. So it's not about creating a separation. It's just creating the space in order to gain greater clarity and greater insight in terms of, what is this? What is occurring here? Is this even mine? Is there anything I can do with this? Is there a gift and a blessing in the situation that I maybe just haven't acknowledged? And if you can just get a sense, it's asking these questions from a completely neutral space of allowance. You're not attaching yourself to the outcome. You're not expecting anything. You're not going into any judgment of anything. You're just asking questions. And that's what we did as children. We asked questions because we were curious. We are curious by nature. But when we get cut off, or we get made to be small and insignificant and made to feel wrong and judged, we shut off so much of our magic, and we don't want to be shutting off our magic. We really want our magic to be shining out brightly into the world. So our light is shining out brightly into the world, so that we get to be the gift and blessing ourselves that the world is requiring from us. We get to fulfill our divine mission, our divine contract, and the way that we're supposed to, without actually getting in our own way. So universe, our divine spirit team, is always going to be assisting us. But when we get our own way, that is the free will aspect. They cannot intervene unless we ask a question, unless we ask for their guidance, unless we ask for assistance. So learn to ask. And also, when the stuff is going on and everything has shifted from a higher vibrational energy into this very low vibrational energy, ask, what is this? Who does this even belong to? Is this even mine? And you're asking that question to create the space. And within that space, you're giving yourself extra room to breathe, extra room to navigate, extra room to gain a greater clarity, greater perspective on something, to either assist yourself, to facilitate yourself out of something, or to facilitate someone around you, if they're in the vicinity. And if you don't even know who they are and they're across the world, just asking, well, who does this even belong to? Is this even mine? Getting a sense that it's not, I now return this to sender with consciousness and love and light attached. And remember, there is power in our spoken word. We can either curse a situation or we can uplift a situation. And us asking, I'd love to return this to sender with consciousness and love and light attached, you are assisting that person to receive healing when they are ready to. So we practice the law of non-interference. We do what we can. We plant the seeds of consciousness, and we allow the divine consciousness and the divine mind to take care of the rest. That person's higher self to take care of the rest. So 2 tools. Let me know in the comments below if this was helpful. For some of you, you may know these tools already. Let me know. Are you using them? Are you practicing? How did they change your life? And if not, pop down in the comments below if these tools are like totally brand new to you today, and let me know how they work when you do use them, because everything does work if we choose to use them. And the more we use them, the more we build momentum, the more we build energy with this, because all of a sudden we're recognizing that we're energetic spiritual infinite beings. We get more familiar with that, and we start playing small, and we stop getting attached to this third dimensional reality. We start playing that game of life, and we play completely different game of life. So that's the message for today in today's vlog. And if you're new to YouTube, you know YouTube etiquette. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed as any. Hit that like button. It really does help the algorithms. You can follow me in any other social media. Everything is down below: Instagram, Facebook, and on Twitter. And I just appreciate you being here and for just being the gift and the blessing that you truly be. And if you haven't been that yet, please don't panic, don't worry. Everything occurs at the most divine time. And what if the message in today's vlog was exactly what you required to be the magic that you truly be, to be the change that you truly be? So until next vlog, sending you lots of love, lots of magic, lots of blessings, lots of mystery, lots of possibilities. Remember, you're a curious creature. You can ask questions, and you can ask as many questions as you require to. Till next time, lots of love, everyone.